MeMonster.
Chapter 181. I looked outside through the shattered shop window. Near the dark, unlit intersection, shadows squirmed. It was a group of survivors from this preliminary round, a party of 2 men and a woman, each armed with a bow, a spear, and a shield. Survivor count, 6. White letters flashed in the upper right corner of my view. Only 6 survivors remained. 14 out of 20 had died. That was the result after 1 hour since the start. It had dragged on for quite a while. The map was larger than I expected. If the field had been half as small, I would have already gone to watch the individual preliminaries. They passed right beneath me. I had a spiked metal pipe slung on my belt. I slid down the building's drain pipe. What? I locked eyes with one of the men. Instantly, I drew my hand crossbow and pulled the trigger. Bang! With a crisp sound, the bolt lodged in the man's nape. 11. Kill. Enemy attack. Bang! 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 The 2 others dodged my 3 consecutive shots by leaping away. Even the least skilled here were 4 stars. Physically, they were superhuman. I landed in the alley, stomping the ground and wielding my metal pipe. Wait! There's no need for this! Thud! The man tried to block with his crude wooden shield. The metal pipe smashed halfway through it. I kicked the staggering man and slammed his head onto the asphalt. 12. Kill. Ugh. The woman, likely a thief class, sprang onto the roof of a 2-story building like a squirrel and began to flee. I climbed the wall and pursued her. She fired several arrows while running, but I dodged them all and continued the chase. Why won't they hit? Stop following me! Monster! Thud. Soon I caught her by the nape. She died instantly, a dagger lodged in the back of her head. 13. Kill. Why won't they hit? Such arrows are child's play compared to Jenna's. I kicked the sprawled woman. Her body turned into light and slowly disappeared. That left 2. I spent almost 30 minutes searching the entire field, dealing with the remaining survivors. I formed no alliances. The power of the 18th group in the preliminaries, which included me, had already been fully assessed from outside the dimensional gate. After using my insight skill to check the power of the heroes in my group, I decided there was no one worth guarding against. There was no need to waste time, although I would need to be more cautious in the finals where the last 100 gathered. I could be reckless here. I casually picked up items left by the fallen heroes and moved toward the center of the field. The last survivors of this preliminary round were gathered in a half-constructed, abandoned building at the junction. They'd made quite a nuisance of themselves. Barricades were set up at the entrance. Through a gap, a crossbow was aimed at me. Hey you! Who are you? You've been wiping out the participants all by yourself. Are you really the same 4-star as us? You're weak. How did you become 4 stars without polishing any skills properly? These heroes were the product of incompetent masters. Even if their abilities were higher, the outcome would have been the same. No matter who you are, you can't break through this barrier. The entrance was blocked with a solid steel plate. Through a small gap, numerous spearheads gleamed. They'd put quite an effort into it. On the 2nd floor window, a familiar object was installed, a ballista. So, they'd gotten their hands on one of those. All I had were a metal pipe, a hand crossbow, and a few daggers. Just die quietly! Thwack! The ballista fired a large arrow. Where I had been standing was gouged out, asphalt debris flying everywhere. In that moment, I dodged a crossbow bolt aimed to exploit my movement. Annoying. I strode straight toward the barricade. The ballista was being reloaded. It seemed difficult to break through the sturdy barricade with just a metal pipe. I grabbed a street lamp lying beside the road. The smashed middle of the street lamp could serve as a handle. Hup! With all my strength, I lifted the street lamp. Kwang! Hundreds of kilograms of street lamp rose into the air. "That crazy bastard! Quick, shoot him dead!" Thwack! The second ballista shot. I lowered my stance and swung the street lamp. The ballista arrow shattered against it. As expected, this street lamp was considered a greatsword and received skill adjustments. Then it was easy. I hurled myself at the barricade. Bang! With one strike, I smashed through. Tossing the street lamp aside, I entered with the metal pipe in hand. What followed was a rapid series of actions. 14. Kill. 15. Kill. 1 of 20. You won! Tonight's dinner is chicken. You have won the preliminary round. Look forward to the first main round tomorrow. Flash. Light enveloped me, and before I knew it, I was back at the stadium. From entry to clear, it took exactly 1 hour, 30 minutes. A female staff member approached me, dazed. Congratulations on passing the preliminaries. Can I go now? Yes. Please come by 8 a.m. tomorrow. I know. You're really amazing. The fastest to pass. I received my equipment from the showcase and walked out. Inside the indoor stadium, heroes who had been eliminated were gathered. Among them were those I had personally hunted. He's the mad dog of the battle royale. A mad dog? I looked toward the source of the sound. The heroes were murmuring and glancing at me. They say he nailed a hero's forehead and killed him. He tore apart a hero who surrendered and then ripped him to death. The moment someone requested a party, he smashed their head. He's truly a blood-crazed beast. It seemed I'd gotten a strange nickname. It didn't matter. I decided to ignore the loser's barking. It would quiet down by tomorrow. I unfolded the information flyer. It listed the routes and schedules of shuttle buses throughout the city. The bus to the individual tournament preliminaries was arriving in 5 minutes. Fortunately, I wasn't late. In less than 10 minutes, I arrived at the venue for the individual preliminaries. The place for the individual matches was also a dome-shaped giant stadium. After having my identity checked at the entrance, I entered. Inside, 8 square arenas were set up, and the preliminaries were in full swing. I spotted Velkist sitting in a corner of the stadium. "Hey!" Woo! Velkist turned to look at me. "Senior? How did you get here? Were you busy with the preliminaries?" "It's already over, man. How's it going?" "My turn's all done, just watching now." "Is there a need to say it?" Velkist grinned. "Well, that's expected." I plopped down next to Velkist on a steel chair. "Any good ones?" "Somewhat." Velkist's gaze swept over the arenas where battles were happening. "Most are too poor for me to bother watching, but a few caught my eye. That senior, he's grown quite a bit." Velkist crossed his arms, his gaze directed toward the left corner of the arena. "There, Aaron." Aaron, dressed in Niflheim's uniform, was pressing his opponent. With each clean thrust of his spear, his opponent staggered back.
His growth exceeds his talent. It's surprising. He wouldn't have gone to Niflheim for nothing. He must have worked himself to the bone. Maybe even more than me, but that's all. Velkist dismissed his once fiercely fought opponent as "that's all" and moved his gaze to the next arena. This guy's standards had risen, too. Day in and day out, he fought me, and after Kashash had joined, he had one more opponent. His skills were incomparable to those times. Velkist, like me who had obtained Ascend, and Jenna who obtained Sidewinder, had awakened his own unique combat style using his wildness. His talent was outstanding, and apart from missions, he spent almost all his 24 hours training, so the results were expected. Aaron helped his fallen opponent up, bowed, and then descended from the arena. As Velkist had said, what was once low-level spear skills at levels 3 to 4 seems to have advanced to intermediate. But that was it for now. Maybe more could be seen in the finals. It was possible he would face Velkist in the main matches. I shifted my gaze to where Velkist was looking. the central arena. Another participant from Niflheim was standing there. "Yah!" A female bandit's twin swords swirled fiercely. He smoothly deflected every strike with a single dagger. "Are you making fun of me?" the bandit shouted, almost possessed. "No, I'm just matching you with a suitable weapon." The young man spun his dagger, speaking indifferently. There was no underestimation in his eyes. He truly believed what he said. Realizing this, the bandit's expression turned pale. That guy. A bright white cross symbol was drawn on the chest of his uniform. It was the mark of the top trainee from the academy. Interesting. Very interesting. Velkist's lips curled up. "Do you know him? That guy used different weapons in each of the 4 preliminaries. The first was a spear, the second an axe, the third a bow, and the last a dagger." Fire lit in Velkist's eyes. The kind he only showed when he was about to fight me. Something had truly sparked his competitive spirit. Certainly a face I didn't recognize. He must have been summoned while I was away. Using different weapons, and from Velkist's expression, it seemed his proficiency in each was top-notch. So there was such a monster, as expected of Niflheim. People nearby were murmuring about him. "From what I hear, he's the top trainee of Niflheim." "Do you know what his nickname is? The second coming of the Sword Demon." "Sword Demon? If it's the Sword Demon..." "That's right! Loki's left arm, the strongest swordsman of Moebius." Sword Demon was the nickname of Rygian. I understood now his ability and why Velkist's fighting spirit was ignited. A talent freak greater than Jenna. He could use most weapons at expert level. His main weapon, the sword, was naturally beyond that. Is it already advanced? If that guy had learned it, including me, no one here could match him with pure technique. Advanced weapon skills were typically mastered at the very end of 5 stars. If the rumors were true, it was quite the catch. I wanted to ask Yurnet, but I suppressed my urge and waited. It would reveal itself eventually. The match was decided. The guy passed by the bewildered bandit and descended from the arena. Aaron was waiting. Amazing skills. I learned a lot by watching. The guy ignored Aaron's friendly words and left the stadium. Stunned, Aaron shrugged and followed after him. Velkist laughed coldly. They seemed to get along worse than expected. Indeed. Aaron had called himself a parachute. It seemed quite a complicated situation. The second coming of the Sword Demon. My hands itched. If it weren't for the Advent Stone and the ticket, I would have thrown everything aside and participated in this individual competition. I didn't understand why mutants sent Aaron here. I believe it wasn't the right time to send him out. We'll see. No matter who it was, it didn't matter, because Taunia would take the win.
Chapter 182. The first day of the festival had ended. As expected, all our members who participated in the 3 events passed. It would have been a problem if any of them had been eliminated in the preliminaries. Niflheim's team seemed strong, but still manageable. Jenna rolled up her sleeves and raised her arm. After finishing the day's schedule, we gathered in our room for a performance review and strategy meeting. "If we don't make any mistakes, I think we can win. Don't you think so, sisters?" Jenna said. I was nervous at first, since we were up against heroes from other waiting rooms, but it wasn't as difficult as I expected. Maybe we were just lucky. "Don't let your guard down. If we fail even once, we'll be eliminated." I glanced at the paper on the table. 126 points. While the heroes competed in the preliminaries, mini-games for the masters were held in the Dimensional City. The 126 points were the result of Anything's participation in about 10 events. He's really bad at this. Winning the airship race earned us 65 points. In the other games, we consistently ranked last. A total of 126 points put us in the lower ranks. Although it's a small score compared to the 3 major events, not accumulating points in the minigames would be a significant loss. Anyway, given anything's poor gaming skills, we had to win all 3 major events to earn the ticket. Bring out the tournament bracket. Jenna and Velkist took out a blue paper. It contained the main tournament bracket. Tomorrow would determine the top 16 in the first main round, and the day after would be the top 16 and the finals. The list of teams for the first main round was densely packed on the paper. We already had a good grasp of the high-level master teams, including Niflheim. I quickly scanned the individual and team tournament brackets, thinking hard. There were many participants in the first main round, so there was some leeway, but the second main round involved continuous fighting with almost no time to rest. Unlike the waiting rooms, there was no automatic healing, and Mobius headquarters did not provide medical staff. A serious injury meant immediate disqualification. Jenna's group didn't look to have good chances. She was assigned to Group B, which was filled with high-level users. According to the bracket, she would have to play 3 consecutive matches with minimal rest. The likelihood of injury was high. At best, we could only provide her group with the emergency healing potions we brought. Next, I checked Velkist's bracket. Fortunately, he wouldn't meet that swordsman or Aaron until the finals. He had good luck with the draw. On the other hand, Aaron would clash with that guy in the semifinals. I ended the meeting quickly. Velkist and Jenna's team went to train in the hotel's underground personal training area, which spans several dozen floors, to prepare for the main round. Left alone, I sat in the living room lost in thought. Not yet. Muden had only just managed to join Niflheim's first party from the higher floors of the tower. Aaron returned too soon. Why did he come back? I wanted to ask Yernet right away, but I managed to suppress my curiosity. That guy wouldn't do something pointless. There must be another reason. I couldn't know it right now. For now, I needed to focus on my own event. I couldn't afford to be eliminated and lose face in front of the others. As I was strategizing for the main round, there was a knock at the door. This hotel doesn't have room service. I opened the door. A familiar face. It was Aaron. Did I disturb you? No, come in. I'm the only one here. Aaron hesitated at the entrance, then stepped into the living room. I offered him water. Thank you. I drank my water silently. Aaron sat down and bowed his head. I'd seen this look before. It was the same expression he had after losing to Velkist when he first joined. Aaron seemed like he had something to say, but didn't start right away. How was it there? I broke the ice. It was a strange place. I learned that a year spent there could be just a day outside. I can't remember my sister's face. Aaron's eyes grew distant. I had to write down memories of the past in a notebook every day, or I'd forget everything. Eventually, I could barely remember my own name. I suppose so. No one but Muden could have endured it. Niflheim had many people like Aaron, heroes who tried to overcome their lack of talent through effort. But the results were always miserable. You were watching the tournament, weren't you? How did I look? You were decent. It seemed like you'd mastered intermediate swordsmanship, I answered honestly. Aaron had grown beyond recognition. He could now be considered a usable hero. I see, Aaron forced a smile. That took me 57 years. How many years would it take for me to look like you? Aaron brought the empty cup to his lips. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to complain. No, I'm the one who sent you there. I should at least listen. Thank you. But why did you come out so soon? Shouldn't you have stayed there a bit longer? Aaron shook his head. The master told me I was lacking something. It can't be talent. Not talent. That's a foolish answer, I laughed. Did you come out to find what you're lacking? More accurately, I was kicked out. Aaron briefly shared his experiences. Deemed inadequate to follow in Muden's footsteps, he was criticized and transferred to the training center in Niflheim 2 weeks ago. Now he was participating in the current event as a trainee. Aaron spoke calmly, but I could guess his feelings. Did they call him the second coming or something? Anyway, he was a genius who surpassed decades of training in the special dimension in just a few days. That guy is amazing. I couldn't understand the complicated principles after hearing them hundreds of times, but he realized them in a day and applied them the next. When I watched him train, I couldn't help but exclaim. It seemed like he was truly chosen by the gods, just like you. Aaron scratched his nose and smiled. If I brought up how I compared to him, the mood would turn gloomy. I wouldn't say that. Are you confident you can win? I'm planning to do my best. For now. I sighed. If what I saw in the preliminary arena was his full capability, his chances weren't high. Not to mention Niflheim's guy, and especially Velkist, who had advanced another step. Even if that guy was a genius, Velkist had another talent that guy didn't. I was confident Velkist would beat Niflheim's top student. That's why I sent Velkist to the individual event. Aaron and I chatted for about 30 minutes before he left. We talked about Velkist, who had become unrecognizably strong. Even as he praised another guy, Aaron kept a bright expression. Really, I felt bitter. In reality, as in Pick Me Up, effort and achievement do not always correlate. I knew that well. Knowing the low likelihood of Aaron's growth, it was I who had sent him to Muden.
After this tournament, I should contact Yernet. If there really was no significant progress, I wouldn't want that fool to suffer any longer. I should forcibly tell him to come back. The position of instructor for Aaron was still vacant. It was the next day, the first main round. Who filed a complaint calling it boring? Speak up, quick! A red-faced fairy was jumping up and down. How dare you call the battle royale I painstakingly created boring? I'll smash your skull! Is it you, you irregularly employed slave, jealous of a regular employee like me? The fairy grabbed a staff member by the collar and shook him. It could be boring. Even the BJs broadcasting from a 4-star city had all stopped their broadcasts before the latter half of the preliminary round. The reason was simple. If it's a survival game, there's no need to fight desperately until the end. It was enough to find a good spot, set up a base, and camp out. Even if they encountered other heroes, they could just ignore them and pass by. Fighting would only bring loss. Since everyone thought the same, almost no battles occurred throughout the day. Of course, there were exceptions. He's the mad dog! A woman who caught my eye screamed and retreated. That's the mad dog, the lunatic who goes insane at the sight of blood, right? Totally. He's the one who hunted down and killed everyone who tried to escape. The heroes murmured around me. Others get called the second coming, while I get called a mad dog. I remembered all their faces. Starting today, I'll add a special rule. Twinkle fairy power. The fairy waved a small star wand. 4. The speed at which the field shrinks will be faster. Outside the field, a magnetic field will be generated, and contact with it will result in immediate death. 5. The quality and quantity of supplies scattered throughout the field will increase. Also, if you kill opponents consecutively, you will receive bonus points. Kill as much as you want. The rules were added to the explanation panel on the right side of the screen. This first main round will involve 10 people. As you can see, I've added trendy rules. You can feel the speed and it will end quickly. Everyone, start. Slap. The fairy swung the whip in her left hand and preparations for the main round began. There were 10 participants in this first main round. With the field narrowed, a quick decision was expected. And was it bonus points? Killing participants would earn points. If I killed everyone, I'd earn points equivalent to winning 2 minigames. Group 2. Has everyone gathered? A female staff member looked around at the participants. A dimensional gate was created as items were returned to the display case. Gasp! I'm in the same group as the Mad Dog! A man who met my eyes covered his mouth. Mad Dog, nothing. He hurriedly retreated. There were 9 participants gathered for Group 2. They began murmuring as they looked at me. Is that guy really that strong? We should join forces first. I heard everything. This had become troublesome. 9 against 1. Why did it turn out this way? In just one day, rumors about me had spread to all the participants of the Battle Royale. Of course, I had been noticeable, but it shouldn't have been to this extent. It didn't feel natural, as if someone had deliberately spread it. I was going to take it easy today. I planned to watch the individual main round and focus only on the final round of the Battle Royale. As the quality of the participating heroes would increase, I intended to proceed slowly. But, unintentionally, my plans got twisted. I turned around. Beyond the crowd, a woman with blonde hair and a flashy appearance was smiling. It was the woman who had called the other heroes trash yesterday. Was I caught on her radar? Well, it didn't matter. I smiled and turned my back. Hey, you! While I was waiting to participate, the fairy on the podium flew over. I heard the rumors. The game you won was so entertaining, and there's been a lot of praise. I'm looking forward to this one, too. Please do well in this match. I'm aiming to get a full-time job. I'm counting on you. The fairy laughed and patted my shoulder. I said quietly, if I kill everyone, if I alone kill all 9 participants, is there a bonus or something? The fairy blinked, then burst out laughing. Oh, cool! If you alone kill all 9 participants, I'll double the bonus points for you. Good. I ignored the other participants, who were busy planning to eliminate me, and entered the dimensional gate first. Mad Dog. Then it wouldn't be bad to live up to that name. Chapter 183. As the familiar sensation of weightlessness enveloped me, a hologram message appeared, signaling the mission. Floor. This is a special event field. Objective. Survive until only 1 remains. The matrix revealed a torn mattress and a toppled bookshelf, displaying the chaotic scene of a modern-style room. It seemed I had been summoned to an isolated building again. Danger. The field will shrink in 5 minutes. Move to the marked safe zone on the map. Looks like it will end quickly this time. The number of participants had decreased, too. I was rather welcoming of it. I scouted the interior of the building for useful items. Outside the window, at the intersection, 3 players were running in the same direction. It seemed they were gathering in the middle area of the map. Clearly, the collusion among the other players had finished. They had formed a party of 9 and decided to deal with me first. Given the situation, there wasn't much time. I took out the weapon I had found in the house and jumped out of the second-floor window. 1 kill. Clang! A clear, beautiful sound echoed as a man collapsed mid-run, his head caved in. A dagger flew from the hand of another man nearby. Clang! I deflected the dagger with the frying pan in my right hand, then immediately closed the distance and struck him under the chin. Thump! Then I drove my heel into the back of the fallen man's head. Ah! 2 kill. The last one was already running away in the distance. I threw the frying pan at him. Thump! The man was hit on the head by the edge of the pan and fell sideways. I dashed up and grabbed him by the scruff on his neck. He wasn't dead yet. Where were you supposed to meet? Despite bleeding from his forehead, he kept his mouth shut, but his eyes briefly darted to a ruined building across the intersection. That's the place. It was easy to predict. If there's a conspicuous place where scattered members could quickly gather, it had to be there. You crazy mad dog, even if you... Clang, 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 clang,
clang. I hit the fallen man's head with the frying pan 5 times until he was finally deemed dead. 3 kill. It would get annoying if it dragged on. Under normal circumstances, this would have been the perfect time to leisurely farm items in camp. I ran down the road with the dented frying pan. Taiwan number 1. What? Killed them all with just a frying pan. 24/7. Pick me up, huh? A lunatic appears in the battle royale. BJ. Assalamu alaikum. Viewers, 1053. This, first a crazy dog, now a lunatic out of control. Unfortunately, the map was obscured by the viewer's screen, but I could see the viewer's chat. Road Warrior HDMM1. Is that the lunatic? Looks familiar. Diet semicolon double. Only 5 minutes in and already 3 kills. Crazy! This is distracting. I moved the broadcast screen to the corner and continued my pace. Along the way, in a trash-filled alley, I found a rusty iron pipe. And a minute later, I arrived at the rendezvous point, the square in front of the ruined building. 3 men, 2 women, 5 in total were waiting for me. They were armed with swords, spears, shields, and bows. They made no effort to hide their presence, surely aware that I was coming. You, the man at the front, with a serious expression, spoke. What? Are you a born 4-star? Nope. I held a frying pan in my left hand and the iron pipe in my right. And 10 minutes later, I was squatting on the ground of the square. 2. I spit the blood pooled in my mouth. I hadn't expected a magician to be among them. It took quite some time to deal with them. Monster. I'm not a monster. Work hard first before complaining. Losing to a frying pan while armed with swords and spears makes no sense. I clicked my tongue and stood up. Taiwan number 1. What? Killed him all with just a frying pan? Psycho 5-3. Lamau, real psycho, lol. Sans Papyrus. Wow, a frying pan and an iron pipe. Pack. Nice Guy 3-3. I think I've seen him before. Remember that viral video? That hero who carried his clueless master? Too Much 7. Oh, that video, I remember. I was in LA back then. Last Riv Nevin, 13. Isn't that him? Check it out. I think there's an update for the 40th floor too. Too Much Pain, See You Again 1. Was that him? He was really strong. Why hasn't he competed in singles? He could rival Nymfalheim. 1 left. He must be here somewhere. Seems like a rogue class trying to stay hidden. I spun the blood-soaked frying pan and said, "Come out in 10 seconds. If you get caught by me, you're dead." "Oh, what if I don't get caught?" "You'll still die." Damn it. The presence vanished. Annoying. When a rogue hides like this, it's bothersome to seek them out. Danger. The field will shrink in 1 minute. Move to the marked safe zone on the map. As soon as the message appeared, the curtain of a 3-story building in front fluttered. Oh, there he is. I stood up with a smile, holding the blood-stained frying pan. 9 kill. 1/10. You won. Cluck. Tonight's dinner is chicken. You have won the main event. Look forward to the final match tomorrow. I returned to the arena. Congratulations on making it to the finals. The clerk next to the dimensional gate handed me a pass. I looked around. The arena was noisy with the sounds of other contestants. Besides those eliminated, it seemed a few had passed faster than me. It wasn't much of a hassle. Given the small field and fewer participants, some matches had ended very quickly. Oh ho ho! That was quick. Reducing the number of participants was the right decision. We should proceed like this for the next 8th Festa preliminaries. Excuse me, but that proposal was rejected for the 8th. What did you say? Today's footage of my performance was also shown. This would also contribute to the rumors about me. Yesterday, I left immediately after the preliminaries, so I hadn't seen these highlights. I sat near the monitor in the waiting area. Watching the match videos throughout today seemed like a good idea to spot any troublesome opponents for the finals. That was impressive. Suddenly, a can of drink was offered from beside me. I took the can, somewhat dumbfounded. To defeat 9 people with just some junk. You were impressive yesterday, too. I'm Sidine Nibble. And you? A woman with her blonde hair tied back sat gracefully beside me. A familiar face. Han. Good, Mr. Han. The reason I approached you, you want me to join your party for the finals tomorrow. You catch on fast. Sidine covered her mouth and laughed. Then she gestured behind her. Those 2 are going to be in my party tomorrow. There will be 100 contestants in the finals. Isn't the survival rate too low if you're alone? No matter how strong you are, it's tough to handle a surprise attack or face many opponents by yourself, especially someone like you, a person of interest. Sidine emphasized the term person of interest.
That makes sense. From the rumors alone, someone like me, the mad dog, would be a primary target and face concentrated attacks, meaning my chances of winning were slim. We'll take you in. No other party will let you join. I remained silent. This woman clearly spread the rumors about me. Talking with her clarified her intentions. Join or die alone. It was a cute tactic. She had nothing to lose. Even if I didn't join the party, since I moved alone, they could handle me with a combined attack. If I joined, it would be good firepower for them. Think carefully. Your competitors are 99 tomorrow. Can you beat that many people alone? Wouldn't it be better to create allies? Think about it logically. I did some digging, and you have a pretty solid background. A top external student from Niflheim. That's worth some respect. What do you say? If you perform well in this competition, I can ask my master to pull you out of that miserable waiting room. You could even come to our waiting room. I listened silently as Sidine coughed slightly. Hey, why aren't you saying anything? I'm thinking. I considered the composition of her party. Sidine was a knight. The other 2 were rogues. The other 2 party members seemed to have been eliminated in the preliminaries. This battle royale was so variable that even a born 4-star could easily be eliminated. It's bothersome to move alone. In this game, it was clear that parties had a higher survival rate than solo players. What's more, having rogues who could do things I couldn't, like scouting and tracking, was appealing despite the obvious intent. If these 3 were from the same waiting room and aiming for the championship prize, when the last 4 remained, I would be facing a 3-to-1 fight. If they were from the same group, it wouldn't matter who won. Don't take me lightly. I have an engraving, and so do the other 2. We started as born 4-stars. We're confident even if we start with just us 3, but to avoid any unexpected issues... All right. Really? I'll join. Sidine's face lit up. Then we have a deal. Come to room 2101 at the hotel tonight. We'll have a brief strategy meeting. Oh, and just so you know, if you betray us, it will not be just about this event. This deal involves the honor between masters. Your master isn't much, right? He's just level 40, right? You wouldn't want him to taste bitterness, so it's best to keep to the agreement. She talks too much. Sidine pressed me several times with threats of retribution from her master if I betrayed the party, and then she left. The only condition for the party's dissolution was one: when 4 remained. As soon as the party disbanded, I would face the focused attacks of 3 players. It was a clearly visible scenario. I crossed my legs. The monitor was still broadcasting the match videos. Tomorrow would be the final main and championship matches of this raid festa. The winner of the 3 events and the owner of the 5-star summon ticket would be determined. Since there was no contact from Jenna and Velkist, it seems there had been no issues in their progression. The Battle Royale finals will start early in the morning. If it ends quickly, I might even go watch other events. I was good on my own, but now I had found a suitable use for them. Don't betray? Of course I wouldn't betray. I didn't want to create a hassle with conflicts. Just a bit of a detour. I gulped down the now cold can of drink. This bastard. It was mint chocolate flavor.
Chapter 184. If we evaluate things objectively, the most advantageous class in this Battle Royale finale was the Rogue.
In the finals, where the number of participants is small and the map is narrow, other classes can perform decently. However, in a massive game with about 100 participants, it's a different story. Survivor count, 21. I looked up at the screen above. 21 survivors left. The unskilled fighters who had been brawling chaotically were already filtered out. Now, the likelihood of a large-scale frontal assault among the survivors was slim. Everyone was waiting for an opportunity. If no frontal assault occurred, it was the rogue stage to shine. Stealth, ambushes, and excellent tracking. "Are you glad you joined our party?" Sadine spoke in the gentle tone. This woman. As I noticed yesterday, she talks a lot. Especially after we fought over the ownership of this building. I had single-handedly knocked out 3 people. "Han, I was impressed with your fight earlier. You're exceptional. I can't believe someone like you came from a level 40 waiting room. Consider my proposal carefully. With you and me..." I examined the holographic map. The safe zone was marked with a white circle. We were in a small town's commercial area, right at the center. A prime zone filled with high-end items with simple traps installed at all exits, including windows, to detect intrusions. Quality leather armor and a usable longsword. Throwing knives and a crossbow as well, all enchanted. Consumables, too. It seems we've farmed enough. Our Lockeria, you see, has 7 floors and various luxurious facilities. 4 teams. Out of 21 people, 17 were operating in teams. The remaining 4 were solo players. These were the results of constant searches by the 4-star rogues in my party. The composition and operational areas of the enemies were almost fully understood. It really is useful. I wouldn't have gotten this information if I moved alone. "How did you find the beverage I gave you yesterday? Wasn't it incredibly tasty? I'm quite picky, but it was pretty good." I wondered how Jenna's party was doing. By now, the group finals must be in full swing. The individual match, starting in the afternoon, was still pending. I was curious, but I decided to focus on my own tasks first. After tallying the points I collected yesterday, to comfortably secure overall first place, we had to win all 3 major events. The score from the minigame Anything Played was disappointing. I leaned against the wall. There was some time left until the next zone restriction. No need to fight, so I relaxed. "Opa, can you hear me?" I opened my eyes. "It's me, Jenna." A marstone hidden in my chest emitted a faint light, the Katio communication stone. I had kept it as an emergency item, hiding it in the crease of my collar. "Excuse me for a moment." "Where are you going? We're in the middle of strategizing." "Bathroom," I answered briefly, and headed up the stairway. After distancing myself, I grasped the communication stone in my hand. Then I whispered, ensuring no one could hear. "What's up?" "Ah, so you can hear me. I thought it was broken. I'm a bit busy now, in the middle of a match." "Sorry, I have something to report." Janet continued. "Edis was poisoned in the recent match. The healing potions aren't working. It seems to be a special kind of paralytic poison. They won't give us the antidote. The next match is soon. What should we do?" I sighed deeply. "We'll try something, just Kashasha and I." "That's impossible with just the 2 of you. Niflheim is also there. If we even manage second place in one of the events, it's over for us." "Damn it." "Sorry, Opa. I told you I was confident." "How much time till the next match?" "About 10 minutes. "That should be enough. Run now and find Velkist in the individual match arena. There are no restrictions on participation." "Huh? What do you mean?" "Didn't you read the flyer? If it's the same affiliation, there are no restrictions on player replacement." "Then you're ruining the individual match. If we just endure and find a way to heal Edis, the effect will last at least 3 hours. By then, the finals will be over. Hey, stop wasting time and do as I say. Take Velkist, put him in for Edis. Win no matter what. Or do you want to see the master crying? But the individual match, I'll participate in it. I cut off the communication. The holographic map displayed a clock. 11:57 a.m. The individual match finals started at 12 p.m. What took you so long? Besides, about the proposal. Shh! I drew my sword from its sheath. All enemy locations were known. Our allies' locations were the same. I had previously embedded a magic item, the tracker's scent, on the two annoying rogues. I prepared to jump out the window. Wait, what are you doing? Our strategy is to wait until the very end. The situation has changed. Don't worry, I won't betray you until only 4 people are left. What? And don't drink trash drinks like mint chocolate. Thud. I jumped down from several meters high and landed on the ground. At the same time, an arrow aimed at my forehead flew toward me. I waved my left hand. The arrow shaft was caught at my fingertips. A team was hiding in the building right in front. I quickly calculated, including the travel distance, how much time is left. 10 minutes? Phew. I didn't want to use this. I flipped the switch in my mind. Han, 4-star, has entered ascend state. Come out, you bastards. And then, wow, amazing! I couldn't even imagine this. Are you Rambo or something? Truly the mad dog of Battle Royale. I hope you participate in the next event as well. Here is the prize and the winning trophy, a golden frying pan. I snatched the event stone from the rambling fairy. The after effects of Ascend blurred my vision. I passed the dumbstruck fairy and pushed through the crowd. Wait! The golden frying pan? Don't want such trash. You take it. Wait! The golden frying pan? Don't want such trash. You take it. Gasp. I bit into a healing potion as I exited the stadium. The current time was 11:41 a.m. No shuttle buses were running at this hour. Anything, you must be watching. You understand the gravity of the situation. Edis was injured. We were at risk of missing the 5-star summon ticket. Anything immediately displayed the tactical tool. Whoosh! A red arrow appeared in the sky. I ran at full speed toward the direction indicated by the arrow. A bright red sports car was cruising down the road. I jumped over the lanes and charged at the sports car. I locked eyes with the man in the driver's seat. Wait! You! Bang! With all my strength, I kicked the door open, sending a panel of metal flying. I pulled the flustered man out of the driver's seat and threw him onto the road. Hey, you! What the hell? I'm a regular employee of Mobius. I sat in the driver's seat. I gripped the steering wheel and pressed the accelerator. Hey, you crazy bastard! What are you doing?
The powerful engine roared as the sports car sped forward. I kept accelerating, smashing through obstacles in my way. The luxury sports car's front end was battered, but that wasn't my concern. I took out the communication stone with my left hand. It's Han. How's it going? Oppa, Velkist says he won't forgive you. That's terrifying. Anyway, there are 3 of us left now, but can you really make it? Battle Royale matches take a long time. Focus on your match. If you can't win even after all of this hassle, you know what happens. It's over. I'll concentrate. Good. I'm hanging up. Tui. I spat out the blood pooling in my mouth. My entire body was covered in wounds, the combined result of minor injuries and the aftermath of Ascend. Vroom. The dashboard indicated a speed of 200 kilometers per hour. A curve. I twisted the steering wheel and hit the brakes. Screech! The smell of burning tires filled the air as thick skid marks were drawn on the road. 11:53 a.m. 7 minutes left. In the distance, the silhouette of the stadium was visible. Did you see that crazy thief bastard? You're screwed if you get caught. The sound of a propeller. Looking up, a helicopter was following me. I extended my middle finger toward the helicopter. Then, without hesitation, I pressed the accelerator. The sports car smashed through a steel fence 3 times. Damn! My limited edition Lamborghini! 11:57. I arrived at the parking lot in front of the stadium. Screech! I maneuvered around the buses blocking the front and drove up to the entrance of the stadium. What is that? Seems like it's coming this way. Boom! I honked the horn and pushed forward. Ah! What? Why are you coming here? Get out of the way! Bang! The sports car smashed through the glass doors of the entrance and came to a stop inside. Flames and smoke rose from the front of the car. I'm gonna die. There wasn't a spot on my body that didn't ache. Thud. I stepped out of the mangled car door. I locked eyes with an employee wearing a badge. I'm a participant in the individual match. Came here for the finals. You can go that way. Boom. The sports car embedded in the wall exploded. I pointed behind me and said, "Take care of that, will you?" Yes, I'll call the fire department. I moved toward the corridor indicated by the employee. Limping on one leg, I took out a second potion from my bag and drank it. Is there a participant named Velkist from Taunia? If you don't come out now, you'll be disqualified. The referee on the square stage was calling the next contestant. Velkist? Was it his first match? I'm sorry, dude. He must have been looking forward to it. I smirked and approached the stage. The opponent had already taken the stage. Did he run away? Waiting is annoying. Just disqualify him already. Understood. Then we'll proceed with a walkover. Don't talk nonsense. I stepped onto the stairs and climbed onto the stage. The audience in the stands focused their attention on me. Among them, Aaron was also present, his eyes widening in apparent joy. Who is this? You seem to be severely injured. Substitute. A substitute? There's no such rule. A female employee ran up to the stage and whispered in the referee's ear. The referee's expression changed moment by moment. He looked at me with a horrified expression. Are you Han Israt from Taunia, the winner of the Battle Royale? I nodded. Participation acknowledged. What? Participating twice? Was there such a ridiculous rule? The burly man with the axe turned red in his face. We almost hold all 3 events simultaneously, so we didn't think this would happen. We will revise the rules to make duplicate participation impossible next time. You've lost your mind. Whatever, fine. I'll split your head open. The scoundrel spat on his hand and slammed his axe into the ground. Your body is covered in blood. Seems like you barely survived death. Do you think you can win? Bloodied. Not an inaccurate description. Even I couldn't walk out safe against several born 4-star heroes, and with the after effects of Ascend on top. Drip. Blood from my forehead fell to the floor of the arena. Where did you throw your weapon? Planning to fight barehanded? I hadn't brought my sword. The staff member was fussing around looking for keys or something. If you're a substitute or blockhead, you've come here to die. I've been craving some bloodshed. Ha ha ha! The scoundrel laughed sinisterly. I calmed my breath. No time for a break. Is that it? I have to make it to the finals. This is interesting. A suitable penalty. I might as well use my fists. I stretched out my right hand. Thump. Suddenly, Bifrost, having pierced through the ceiling, crashed onto the stage floor. I grabbed its hilt and drew the sword. Huh? Beep! The referee blew the whistle. Aaron in the audience stood up and shouted, "Hey, young Neem, hang in there!" I smirked and flipped the blade.
Chapter 185. It was a single strike. Amidst everyone's silence, I sheathed my sword. Blood spurted like a fountain from the giant's neck. My strike had split his massive steel axe, then separated his head from his body. Thud. The now headless body staggered and fell to the ground. So that means I won, didn't I? Ah, yes. Han Israt, victory. I flicked the blood off my sword blade and stepped down from the stage. The blood seeping into the cracks of the floor gradually faded into light and disappeared. That guy will be resurrected in the stadium's waiting room shortly. That's why I could cut him down without hesitation. "Impressive, Young Nim!" Amidst the silence, Aaron shouted. "Stop embarrassing me." I chuckled and headed toward the corridor leading to the waiting room. Blood dripped along the path I walked. I opened the door marked Players' Waiting Room and collapsed onto a sofa in the corner, taking out a healing potion. This was my last potion. Collarbone, ribs, lower abdomen, thigh, calf. Every annoying place was injured. Each time I applied the potion to my wounds, a fierce pain surged through me. If I hadn't learned the regeneration skill, I would have been unable to fight much earlier. The match I just finished was the round of 32. I need to win 4 more times to claim victory in the individual competition. "Impressive, Young Nim." I looked to the side. A man in a Niflheim uniform coat was watching me. Ah, this guy. He is called the Second Coming of the Sword Demon. "I watched the video in the waiting room. That was a fine sword fight," he said, approaching me. I nodded absently. Speaking of videos, I turned my head and saw a large TV installed on the wall of the waiting room. "My name is Vanil Norchev, a senior trainee from Niflheim. And you are—" "I'm Han, from Taunia." "Taunia? You mean Aaron's?" "That's right. He was originally part of our party." "There's quite a difference in level between you two." "I saw the finals of the Battle Royale, too. That was praiseworthy. How about it, joining Niflheim? I heard you were an external trainee as well. You must know about Niflheim's excellence. I'll suggest it to the director when I return." He's spouting fantastic nonsense. I silently wrapped a bandage around my wound. "I think you're one of my kind." "One of your kind?" "Born different, possessing a unique vessel like Lord Region." Vanil gripped his scabbard tightly. "If a rabbit eats meat and a lion grazes, would the world operate correctly? It's the same with people. Everyone lives according to their given vessel." When he mentioned rabbit, Vanil's eyes narrowed. I knew exactly who he was thinking of, and I laughed. "Go. I'm not interested." "That's regrettable." At that moment, a call for Vanil resonated in the waiting room. It seemed it was his turn to participate. Vanil left after giving me a nod, suggesting I could always change my mind. Rabbits and lions. I don't blame him. To him, that's the only logic. Aaron trying to climb up, even though he wasn't fit to, must seem like a rabbit attempting to eat meat. What happened to Aaron? I was the only one left in the players' waiting room. I gulped down the last of the healing potion and glanced at a bulletin board on one side of the room. A hologram screen was updating the bracket in real time. Fortunately, Aaron's name was still in the mix. He hadn't been eliminated from Group A. I finished the emergency treatment in the waiting room. The bleeding had stopped, and I was feeling better, but it would be difficult to fully recover today. The after effects of Ascend last for several days. Carrying this penalty, I had to win the individual match. Once my body felt somewhat okay, I left the waiting room. Most of the players were watching the matches on site. That would be better for scouting the opponents. I decided to go to the stadium to watch the match as well. Vanil was just defeating his opponent. This time he used only his fists. I watched Vanil, who seemed to take it as a matter of course,
then turned toward the second floor of the spectators' seats. According to the bracket, it was Aaron's turn next. Aaron, holding a spear, was heading toward the stage. Whew, the hero called the second coming of the sword demon, he's really something. The depth of his skill is unfathomable. Who's the other guy? I've never seen him before. He's from Niflheim, just like the sword demon. Oh, then is that man also exceptional? No, he's ordinary. He doesn't overpower his opponents like the sword demon. Niflheim really doesn't suit him. If you bet on that man, you're likely to lose everything. He's lucky to make it this far, but he'll probably drop out in the semifinals. As I listened to the heroes who had been eliminated in the preliminaries, I smirked and watched Aaron. Facing a dual swordsman, Aaron thrust and swung his spear. The dual swordsman countered by skillfully maneuvering his weapons against Aaron. It's nothing special, right? There's no impact. It's not even fun to watch. The spectators gossiped. That's to be expected. Aaron didn't overpower his opponent, nor was his fighting style fast or flashy. Aaron's weapon techniques were simple thrusts and swings. Any novice spearman could perform such basic movements. His movements were neat like a machine, but nothing more. Aaron had not used any of the profound martial arts techniques that involve deep principles of weapon handling. He's so boring. Who else is a contender for the championship? There's the Mad Dog. Mad Dog? He committed a massacre in the Battle Royale before entering the individual competition. They say he split his opponent's weapon and head in half with a single blow. He seems to be in poor physical condition, but that mad beast is essentially a monster. A spectator who made eye contact with me gasped and quickly left his seat. What? Come with me. In an instant, 2 seats beside me were vacant. Am I even considered a hero anymore? I clicked my tongue and turned my gaze away. Or I tried to. Someone was sitting there, as if they had always been there naturally. Someone was sitting there, as if they had always been there naturally, with a small, almost childlike stature and a cap pressed down to his eyes. Stupid idiot. A boy with his arms crossed muttered while watching the stage. I've told you several times, but it seems like my words don't reach you. I narrowed my eyes. This guy. Such a naive fool, lacking spirit and determination. He needs to be beaten up 500 times. What's the point of just trying hard? You need to thrust your spear into that pig. Master. The boy lifted one side of his cap. His deep purple eyes shone intensely. Do you know why I've come here? I said nothing. I can't stay long. I might get slapped by the mist lady. I'll keep it brief. The boy's mouth moved slightly. Aaron is... The whisper lasted 5 minutes. After finishing his words, the boy smiled broadly. The next moment, I blinked, and the boy had vanished.
I looked toward the stage. Aaron was pressing his spear's blade against the neck of his fallen opponent. It was the result of a battle that lasted about 15 minutes. I lost. Well done! Aaron helped his opponent up, then after exchanging greetings, exited the stage. No one was there to cheer him on. The next match! The referee in the center of the stage shouted, Main event, 16th round, Group G, from Taunia, Han Israt, from Lorsande, Jardi Noslight. It's my turn already. I stood up. Attention to all individual competition participants. From the quarterfinals onward, due to the crowd at the arena, all heroes are requested to wait in the players' waiting room. The arena-wide announcement was broadcast. I leaped over the barrier separating the spectator seats and the stage, then climbed onto it. A knight holding a shield and sword emerged from the opposite passage. A typical sword and shield type. Your injuries are severe. Forfeit. I dislike fighting the weak, the knight said to me directly after seeing me. I silently drew my sword. This is against my beliefs, but can't be helped. I'll take it easy on you. Click! The blade of my sword widened. I raised the transformed Bifrost, now a greatsword, and charged at him. The start signal hasn't even... The knight, though startled, raised his shield to brace himself. My full-strength strike dented the shield deeply, making the knight stagger back several steps. Wait! Just a moment! It was only after that the referee's whistle blew. That should do it! I planted my front foot firmly and swung my greatsword several times with all my weight. Bang! 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 On the fifth strike, the steel shield shattered into pieces, and on the sixth, crack! The knight collapsed, spewing blood. Han Israt! Victory! The referee looked at me bewildered. I'm not fighting because I enjoy it. If I drag it out, the after effects will worsen. I shook the blood off my greatsword and stepped down from the stage. Shortly after, the quarterfinalists were more or less decided. Aaron and Vanel were in Group A, me in Group B, and the remaining spots were taken by 4-star high-class heroes. Most of the weaklings had been filtered out. Now it was really getting serious. 2 p.m. The seats in the individual competition arena began to fill up. The battle royale and the team final had ended. The mini-games had also wrapped up. What remained was the main event of the 3 major events, the individual competition. Whew, I barely survived. I almost died. You won, that's what counts. How are your injuries? Kishasha is slightly injured. It's nothing serious. I'm heading to the individual competition arena now. To watch you, Oppa. You can win, right? What kind of question is that? Well, how is Aaron, Oppa? He made it through. He's here with me in the waiting room. Got it. Anyway, hang in there. The conversation with Jenna ended. I tossed the depleted magic stone into a trash can and looked around. The gathered competitors were in the waiting room. Aaron, whose turn was next, was sitting on a bench, not looking particularly nervous or resolved. He was idly fiddling with his spear. Hey! Youngnim! Don't get up, stay seated. How are you feeling? Good enough for the finals. Worry about yourself. Aaron grinned. Did you come to encourage me, Hyungnim? Thank you. Aaron. Yes? Do you want to be like him? I pointed to Vanellim's warming up in a corner. Vanel was slowly moving his longsword. It might look like meaningless fiddling at a glance, but it was a motion filled with high concentration and skill. What do you mean? I don't quite understand. Do you want to be a talent freak? The type who knows 10 things from one look and from 10 uses 100, bragging as if it's obvious, looking down on others who can't do the same with disdain? Well, before Aaron could answer, I spoke. You can't. You'll never catch up. Sword domain, sword spirit, no matter how much it's explained, you don't get it. It sounds like empty talk to you. Even if shown, you wouldn't understand how to do it. Why bother clinging to something so desperately? Aaron hung his head. Aaron. Yes? Beat that annoying guy and make it to the finals. I'll be waiting. But if you say you can't, you might as well die. If it doesn't work, make it work. Find a way. Whether you lace his water with sleeping pills, coat the spear with poison, or go up now and smack him in the back of the head, use whatever means to win. Aaron bit his lip. Why did you say you wanted to become stronger? Was it just to keep up with us? Don't idolize him. You can't become that guy. Don't even think about it. You can't. You'll always be the same, even in the future. So destroy him. Like Muden did, just as he had thrust his spear into the hearts of geniuses thousands of times better than him. Aaron looked at me, not understanding. It's okay. You don't need to understand. Just remember this one thing. The next match is starting. Contestants, please come to the stage. It's my turn. Just as the broadcast was going on, Aaron stood up for his entry. I don't quite understand what you mean. Are you telling me to win? You understood correctly. I'll try. That won't do. Aaron smiled bitterly, then gripped the spear tightly. I will win. Good. Go on then. Aaron bowed to me, then left through the door. After him, his next opponent also departed. I looked up. The inorganic ceiling of the background caught my eye. Such a foolish, stupid kid. Muden's voice echoed in my mind. Aaron didn't spend 57 years there. That's right. No human mind could handle that time. He had reset his memory dozens of times and recreated his personality to endure it. Yet through it all, Aaron had not lost himself. Monster bastard. I smiled and quietly recited the time Aaron had endured.
Thank you for listening. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to subscribe, comment, and like the video. Have a suggestion? Let me know in the comments.